welcome. You are watching Digital Disruptors. I am Kalpana Singhal, Editor-in-Chief CXO TV, and we have Shiv Kumar Bhasin, Chief Operations and Technology Officer at National Stock Exchange, as our guest today. Shiv is a global CXO executive with more than 23 years of experience working across Fortune 500 financial services companies, transforming businesses across the globe by redefining consumer experience, innovating products, and digitizing channels, and presently transforming National Stock Exchange as fair, equitable, and interoperable institution. Hi, Shiv, and welcome to the panel.
Hi, Kalpana.
So, Shiv, my first question to you is: what are your roles and responsibilities as CTO of National Stock Exchange?
So, Kalpana, in my role, I own the complete technology shop over here, so which encompasses the technology strategy, technology vision, and then getting into the change and run part of the exchange and the trade operations. So these are the core pillars I own. And this has a very large, statement of work, because exchange is the business which runs totally on technology. Because all exchanges are now post mid-90s are fully electronic. NSE, since inception, it is an electronic exchange. We never had a floor trading, unlike olden days in BSE, or recently in some of the web series you would have seen the floor trading, how that used to happen. So now, as the pandemic has struck, as well as the daily, there are various announcements from the government to grow the economy of the country. The volumes are growing tremendously, and as just only 2% of the bankable population of country participates in capital market. And
Right.
if we have to go to the like 5 trillion economy by 2025, so this post needs to move from 2% to most likely 8 to 10%. So roughly 4 to 5 times of volumes we are looking at, and we are already processing 200 orders, 200k orders per second. And which is a from the when you compare with our other global exchanges, you will find that among the derivatives volume, we are the largest exchange across the globe, which process the largest number of derivative orders and results into the trades. So, given all these kind of business projections, the technology role is, key for the success of the exchange and the core pillar of the Indian economy. Because we have around 95 to 97% of the country's trade volumes are processed by our exchange. And given such large volumes, the kind of you should say the heart or the main vein of the economy of the country is represented by the exchange, and exchange runs on technology. So the role of the technology team is very, very large, and it is a mission critical system where you can't have even a single second of downtime. With a slight glitch in a very shortest amount of time, the glitch will be out on the CNBC, and it could impact adversely the Indian economy. So there's a very great responsibility on the NSE, and NSE is now the national critical infrastructure as well. So further, it rolls for the keeping the economy growing and keeping the economy vibrant. The NSE has a great role to play for the growth of Indian economy.
Right. So, what are the challenges that anyone is facing, to improve that percentage of getting the transactions on digital by 2025? What kind of challenges you are facing, and how you are planning to meet those challenges?
Yes, actually, very good question. So, as I was mentioning about, the as business projections are very, very high because government wants to grow the Indian economy to be at, in top three economies in the world. And given that goal which India has, our responsibility is that keeping the systems resilient and scalable to be future ready for any kind of a exponential growth in the order volumes could be handled very, very smoothly. For example, when we entered into the pandemic, like in March this year, we were processing around 2 billion orders in a day. And as just a quarter down from March, in June, we started processing 4 billion orders a day. Again, as you saw in last few months, the market has been very volatile. And because of this volatility, the volumes go tremendously very high on the platform, being this is a platform business. So the challenges are always that being a mission critical system, always you have to be making the systems highly scalable, keeping the headroom, having a exponential growth in a shortest amount of time. Keeps us the performance engineering department always on the toes and keeping the the infrastructure like a cloud-like kind of flexibility, but we can't unfortunately use cloud. Cloud do not support today low latency, business processes. And once they start supporting the low latency, cloud could be one of the option. But however, the platforms which we use, where we keep always, keeping 3 to 4 years in future in mind, and hence we always keep the sufficient headrooms for any such spikes coming on the way. We should be able to handle them gracefully, as well as whatever mission critical software systems which are running, where at a operating system level, performance tuning, and where at a protocol level or even at the silicon level, while working with the very large chip manufacturers to improve the vertical scalability of the platform, and being a very latency sensitive where every nanosecond counts, and that is the measure of that how responsive or how quick is the exchange trade platform. So low latency is one of the key, and number of orders it can process, and as well as how much resilient it is, that without even a single nanosecond of a downtime, even if there are any problems get encountered during the day, it should be seamlessly be failing over without impacting the market. So these are some of the key challenges when it comes to the trade platform. The other challenges are as exchange being the one of the first, I think, BFSI sector which went into the adopting technology in a major way sometime in mid 90s. So consequently, we became little arrogant as well, that we were the leaders and we are going to be continue to be the leader. We remained in that, and like that around more than 20 years passed. While there is a, as the cycle is reducing day by day, which is now, earlier say any kind of a transformation used to happen 20 years and 10 years and 5 years. Nowadays, actually, it has come down to 3 to 1 years, basically. So most of our transformations are happening very, very fast. So the stakeholder experience is one of the key challenge for us, where various compliance and regulatory processes, we being the frontline regulator of the market as well, we have to work towards the digitization of the processes, where manual interventions can be reduced and they are straight through without manual intervention, without paper processing, and improving the overall tax from several days to few minutes or real time. That is the mandate we are working on. So that is the second challenge. And third most challenge is that we are sitting on a enormous amount of the corporate data. So which is the entire country's corporate data is with us, where regulations prohibit us for launching the data services on a commercial basis, because as per regulations, that all the data which we get from the market, that gets pumped to us by the market, so it belongs to the market, so it should be given back to the market free. That is the SEBI regulatory guidance. While across the globe, many exchanges are making around 30% of the revenue out of the data. So we are working on adding some advanced analytics, AI, ML based, some of the value-added services, which could be added or hosted on the cloud, and those can be disseminated to the trading members based on subscription. And those subscription will be chargeable basis.
What kind of thoughts you have when it comes to Bitcoins? Because Bitcoin is a technology which will majorly affect NSE. So what is your thought on this?
It's still legal tender in India. So the regulation, RBI did not recognize it as a legal currency.
It is not there, but like other countries have already accepted. Are we prepared that in coming future, say by 2025, if say RBI the regulations changes, then how are we going to how NSE is going to prepare for that?
Yes, actually we have a one chapter called Innovation Sandbox, which we run along with the regulator. And there we have been working on some of the shareable assets. So it is not directly Bitcoin, I will say, but it is like today we have physical securities, means all these equities, options, and derivatives. All these are played on the physical market. So we are looking at how these assets could be digitized so that they can be shareable. And so that will be I think it is not really the Bitcoin. It is more on a blockchain kind of a technology, and there we are working with the regulator, because the capital market regulator SEBI also still does not recognize the shareable assets. So there are no regulations and all, and how that exchange, which will be dealing into the shareable assets, will operate. Those guidelines still need to be worked out with the market regulator to maintain the fairness and equitable behavior of all the participants. And how many people, like how many equities or how many symbols will be ready to get themselves kind of a sold as a shareable or kind of a into multi parts. So that is another area which is still, I think, we have not worked upon, but more as a technology POC. we have done, where we have come up with a with one of the market innovator. It's a startup firm which is based on Hyderabad, and we have worked with them on coming up with a shareable assets and looking at designing the trading and matching engine based on that. So that part is work in progress, I will say. However, just to connect to your question further, that there is a fully digital exchange are in just started last year. One in the Switzerland, and one somewhere in the in the Europe. So these are the two exchanges where they are looking at all asset classes will be fully digital. So they will be shareable assets, and they can be partitioned, and they could be various kinds of assets. Like you can have land parcels, you can have real estate, which could be working as a shareable assets. So those are the asset classes also those exchanges are looking at. But so far in India, it has been purely a technology POC. It has not been into the business so far, because there are various opportunities. There are, like in the commodity market, especially in the precious metal, like gold. The prices are going very, very high. So that is another asset which can be sold as a kind of a using this blockchain technology or shareable asset digital technologies. We can deal with this kind of precious metal area more effectively, and we can grow their consumption. We can grow their the many more people can afford them as well. Given very limited number of trades and limited number of people are only dealing in these kind of tradings.
So what are the key technology solutions used by NSE, and what are their use cases?
Yes, so see, NSE has three key pillars, I would say: trading and clearing, risk and clearing, and third is surveillance. So when you look at the trading, it's really the entire system programming, which is all largely based out of C++, kernel level programming, where the matching engines, the gateways for low latencies, they all are dealing with how to do the kernel bypass and reduce the latencies and do the faster calculations with each CPU cycle. While when you go to the clearing domain, so clearing, currently we are using a lot of legacy technologies, and we are going towards the modernization, where it is a typical client server technologies, like we have a lot of legacy applications on 2-tier architecture, C++, and databases. Now, where we are now moving towards the container-oriented Kubernetes and container-based, architectures on microservices-based architecture. Then third is the surveillance, which is again a very, very critical, which deals with data, where real-time analytics of all these 200K orders per second, those very large volume, very large throughput which we receive, need to be analyzed for any trade anomaly or any kind of a restrictive trading practices which any pattern is found. They need to be detected on real-time basis, and they get reported to the regulator as well on a real-time basis. So it is a very critical area. That's where the advanced data analytics is required, and a lot of in-memory calculations get done over there. So these are the kind of technologies we are using, and we are looking at for surveillance, implementing the data lake, implementing the various real-time processing middlewares, which can carry out the in-memory calculations and reduce the latency for any kind of a surveillance analysis or surveillance alert gets detected, rather than persisting the data first into the database and then detecting the anomaly, we are trying to do that first, keep the data in memory and detect anomalies and reflect those alerts to the market, in a faster manner with a low latency. So some of these are the key areas where we are working on.
Right, right. So, will you like to name some of your technology partners with whom you are working?
Yes, actually, we work our some of the key technology partner. We have TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, for our trading platform and for surveillance. And in clearing as well, we have TCS, but however, we have other partners as well. We have our own technology firm as well called NSE IT. So we have some technology resources from them as well. Again, we work with Cognizant, Infosys, IBM. So some of these partners have, in terms of resourcing needs, skill set needs in some pockets, because everyone is working some niche area like API gateways. We work largely with Google. Now Apigee we are using. Earlier we were using IBM. So and then now we are adopting some of the cloud SaaS products as well for collaboration, as well as now when we are working remotely, we are using some of the remote working tools which are hosted on the cloud, and they are having a multi-level of security also enabled. So there are some cyber security firms, be it Cisco, F5, Checkpoint. They also come into our key OEMs list. VMware and Office 365 from Microsoft. These are the other key cloud partners in terms of team collaboration and in terms of setting up CI/CD pipelines on the hybrid cloud, as well as all the virtual desktops, across the organizations in the shortest time got rolled out with the help of VMware. So entire intranet applications are published on the Workspace ONE. So all these things, we are using to make the productivity of the staff much higher and reducing the friction for the staff members.
Right. And how is the support, especially during COVID times, from these technology partners?
We got very excellent support. As we moved into the COVID, lockdown period. Being a frontline regulator for the capital market, and as well as holding the various sensitive data of the corporate market, capital market in India, we were not having a practice for remote working. So everybody has to come to office and connect to their desktops only. There were no laptops, no mobile devices. Enablement was there. So that was a one challenge which we were looking at, and we sensed it around 2 to 3 weeks before the lockdown came, because we were observing across the globe lockdowns were being called, and we were thinking that what if India also gets into a similar situation? How will we go about it? And it was a coincidence, like first week of March, we were discussing this with our different partners. By the 23rd March, I think India got a lockdown called. And all these partners came forward that like Cisco, as well as the VMware, to set up the team collaboration tools, to set up the virtual desktops, to ensure that people have accesses with a multiple level of securities, where not only just user ID, password, and not having just typical VPN, but app-based security like Cisco Duo or biometric securities. So all those got done in 6 weeks straight, like from 1st March to 15th April. And we had our entire workforce having the remote working enabled. by the 15th April. And we took around another a month time from there with the various trainings for the staff being conducted to how to be productive in the digital way of working, because many
Right.
people do not know how to use whiteboards and in the digital whiteboards and all connect to each other, and they like more to be face to face, more physical. So it took big change management in the organization, that how do we the way we work, how to change it. And that actually we found that probably it was a generational impact as well, that people learn these things very very fast. And however, we have when we look at our org structure, our org structure is not top heavy, and when we look at the people at top, they are largely very long stints they have with our organization. So there was a challenge whether throughout the spectrum we will have adoption of digital tools or not, and unless the leadership gets hooked to the digital way of working, how the downstream people will be able to adopt it. But we found that in all across the different geographies, different people move to the different parts of the country as well because of their hometowns and all, and different age groups. We found that people adopted this remote way of working very very fast, and now people are fully productive. We are hoping that after the post pandemic as well, not more than 40% people will not be more in office. So around 60% staff, we are looking at 50 to 60% staff working remotely permanently.
Yeah. So we'll continue with the virtual operations post pandemic as well.
That's right. That's right, actually. So that is one, and I think let's see how things go, because this is a very we get kind of a casted into the any change in the circumstances very very quick. So now let's see that, because there have been a lot of restrictions so far. People were very health conscious and everything, and people were not moving themselves. But as the restriction, we see that, and I think we get the vaccine very very fast, and further restrictions will go down. So in those changed circumstances, how people will behave, that will also determine that how strong will be this remote working models. Maybe today we are looking at ambitiously that 60% people will be working from remote, but maybe eventually we may find 30 to 35% people are really working on remote. And but it is going to give a great mileage to the Indian industry, because so far a lot of Indian managers were very physical, touch and feel, and they wanted all the staff to be in office. So there were some handicaps as well, that you could not tap the skill set who are like, because some drawbacks or some handicaps, they cannot come to office, or because some family responsibilities, they could not join the workforce, they left at some point of time. Or some remote places you have a good skill set, it is not available readily in Mumbai, and people don't want to come to Mumbai as well. So the finding the skill set, good skill set, will be simpler now with the remote way of working. I see it will give a lot of growth in the Indian talent, as well as the Indian industries will be growing quite rapidly now.
Yeah, there will be more opportunities.
Right.
Yeah. So as you rightly said that NSE is majorly handling the corporate database. So when we talk about work from home, how are you maintaining those boundaries, those lines of data security? Giving access to making those layers of access should be given access for what all. So how are you doing that?
Yes, so we have implemented the various cyber security frameworks. Like we are using some of the cloud security providers, where they have, I would say, one good line of defense at a cloud level itself before the any kind of a interaction hits the perimeter of our data center. So there is a deterrence available at the cloud level where the web application firewalls, the content management systems, the DNS, all those are kind of available on the cloud itself. Then there are subsequently the similar layers and some similar walls are there in our beyond our perimeter level within our data center. And for the end users, as I said earlier, we have done that there is a cloud level multiple factor authentication put in place where they have to come via the proxy through cloud, as well as they have to use the app-based authentication rather than the VPN, because VPN is also nowadays broken. For some of the privileged user, this app-based authentication is getting carried out using biometrics. And all those even after biometrics, all these users are into the privileged identity management system. So there are multiple layers of defenses are there, and on top of it, we have given to our monitoring staff, which is a security operations center staff, remote connectivity of the dashboards, so that they can continuously monitor. As you would have seen recently, there were 7 or 8 stock exchanges were attacked during the pandemic time, and one of the stock exchange was down for continuously 5 days because of the cybersecurity attack. So there, we had taken a significant learning from those instances, and we went ahead and implemented this app-based multiple security and biometrics, and ensured that all the privileged users are really into the privileged identity management system. So that and then all our, as I said, the cloud security we have, we adopted for the cloud security. When we were going for the having a development teams or the operations team coming through the VDI or the virtual desktops, so they should come through the cloud level, cloud-based security, and then only their calls should hit our data centers perimeter. So keeping all these multiple layers of defense, this has been a learning opportunity. This was, as I said, that we spent around 6 to 7 weeks building the remote support, then another 4 weeks to further fine-tuning it, and parallelly all these 10-12 weeks we spent strengthening our cybersecurity further. And ensuring that we have the right controls put in place, and going for the least privilege principles, so that the role versus the user rights mapping were all audited and reviewed again, because this was audit processes also we have enhanced for ensuring the cybersecurity tools are deployed at their best levels.
Right. So can you just walk us through your data center? Like, okay, how is your data center? Like you said previously, you were not more on the NSE was not more on the cloud because of the security reason. So tell us more about your data center.
See, our data centers are, we are all using on-premise data centers. All data centers are owned by us. We don't use co-location, data centers. All the data centers are maintained from civil engineering perspective, from IT perspective, are all managed by us, totally in-house staff. And similarly means all the locations, whether production, near DR or BCP location, all the 3 locations are managed by us. Recently we have done one change where we have outsourced our infrastructure services, infrastructure management and services to one of the key partner Wipro, and we have been looking at that, bringing the more proficiency in the managing the best service SLA and being more agile. So these were the key requirements where we have moved on to the infrastructure services partner. And given the pandemic, because the way first you have to manage your resources, as well as various, you would like to be aware of that how the rest of the world is working in this area. So we thought that it will be a good idea to have a partner who is having a global presence and having a like a number one partner in, as per Gartner's Magic Quadrant as well in the infrastructure services, where we can leverage the global market knowledge base as well. So keeping this recent decision was taken. And as I said, we are working with totally on-premise, but however, we are partnering with, like for Office 365, we partner with Microsoft, and we are partnering with them for their Azure cloud for running some of the data analytics services, and similarly with AWS and GCP. So this is all these threads or innovation threads which we have started working with the cloud service providers. There we have gone for one or two data analytics services to be hosted on the Amazon cloud, and with other cloud service providers we are doing various POCs so that we can be ready for the cloud-based architecture.
Right. So you agree that digital technologies have helped NSE to tide over the current COVID-19 crisis?
Yes. Digital really has supported us in this, and we are working on one very large digital transformation program where all the the touch points of the exchange, which are with the trading members, clearing members, custodians. So we are moving them towards the modern application architecture, which is based out of microservices, Kubernetes, containers, and leveraging the various web and mobile technologies, which are anytime, anywhere, any device, based on that principle. Because we don't want to be lagging behind, leveraging only the legacy technology based clients, and we want to move towards our clients need to be very thin as well as adaptable to all the devices, be it as various mobile devices, pads, and laptops and desktops, of course, and multi-browser support. So we have in this modernization, digital transformation, one of the key area is that not only just look at this technology modernization, but also business process reimagination, where the long-running business processes could be brought down, leveraging the technology again, which is be it as a voice-enabled chatbots or AI/ML based chatbots, and OCR and RPA based processing of the paper documents. And further doing AI analytics, like you would have seen a lot of companies when they go for listing, they publish their red herring prospectus of 300 pages, and first they submit to us. So all those red herring prospectuses are going to be proofread and audited by the bots. So we are putting the AI ML based bots, which could be able to skim through the 300 and 400 pager document in a matter of few minutes, which the department used to take somewhere 10 days to 20 days to come back to the with any kind of a anomalies or any kind of a review comments to the people who were trying to list their companies onto NSE, and it used to be a sometimes nightmare, but now they will be able to list their companies in a matter of less than a week, from the time they decide, okay, now we have to go for listing. So that is the automation we are building using digital transformation.
Right. So that's what, I was about to ask you, that how NSA is leveraging on modern technologies like AI and ML. So that's really interesting that you're using bots for checking the documents and making the things much faster than earlier it was. So how has the prolonged work from home scenario changed the entire data recovery and the BCP plans of organizations?
Yes, actually, very good question. Actually, it has really tested our BCP strategy, and it has been a great event to build multiple level of redundancies at every leg. Like when the pandemic hit us, we went for very quickly booking the hotels next to our office premise, keeping some backup staff nearby, so that if somebody gets unhealthy and they can be called from the hotels, and they are kept in a separate rooms and separate hotels as well with team wise, so that if the team A gets impacted, the team B can be brought in, and all those redundancies were planned within the same city and across cities. So that normally you have two levels of redundancies. That one in the main site, your team is there; other is at your BCP site. But now within the main site, we had some people in office, some two teams in the hotels, and other set of people in homes. So we had four level of redundancy built into the same city. Then we allowed people to work remotely as well while supporting this BCP. And we have run four surprise mocks, which used to start early in the morning at 4:30 in the morning. Calls used to go while people are sleeping. They are being called by the call tree, and by 5 a.m. people are pretty much ready working from home to ensure that 9 o'clock exchange opens for market to be ready at 9:15. So that really, we did this four surprise mocks and two planned DR drills. So, and we leverage, as I said, this multiple level of redundancies across cities, within the cities, and it has now our policy, the BCP policy is very, very, well tested and robust, which gives us multiple level of redundancies. Hence, we are. I feel that we are much better prepared than the pre-pandemic times.
Yeah, right. That's quite interesting. Okay, tell me, how has NSE planned out a Python-based trading platform with the scalable architecture?
Yes, see, our trading platform is totally indigenously developed in-house. So, as I said, our partner is TCS, and all the design and architecture has been done in-house by the NSE teams. And trading platform, again, as I said, it is not a trading platform is a very, very sensitive area, unlike the other banking sectors, where you can leverage a lot of modern technologies. In the trading platform, we are, as I said earlier, we are using largely C++ technologies, which are based on OS level, and sometimes even bypassing the kernel and writing the code in such a manner the nanosecond kind of latencies could be achieved for end-to-end transaction. So this is all indigenous, and we have been working on multiple things in terms of one is the resilient architecture, and second is the scalability. Be it is a vertical scalability is one of the key area we work on, and second is partitioning the asset classes based on certain business attributes, so which gives us a horizontal scalability. So that has been some of the combination of these things makes our trading platform, highly scalable and resilient.
Yeah, that's really nice. Okay, my last question, Shiv, what are the cybersecurity challenges in the online trading market?
Cybersecurity challenges are actually, there are a couple of ones, like one, like typical any, BFSI, transaction would have. One is that, whatever transaction is being pumped by the trading member to the exchange, the transaction integrity is the key. So each and every value which is being pumped, that has reached in a similar manner to us, or it has been manipulated on the way, or man in the middle attack kind of a thing. So those mitigations are put in place already. And then the other challenge is that you have to be, while you are carrying out these cybersecurity challenge, cybersecurity preventions. So there or mitigations when you are putting in. So these should not be a overhead in the performance of the trading platform. They should not cause any kind of increase in latency for trade execution. And consequently, we have to remain nimble but secure. And we have various levels of checks, because we have our own proprietary network, our own proprietary POP network, which we use, which builds various level of hardware-based security, which keeps the integrity, confidentiality, non-repetition of the transactions intact.
All right. Thank you so much for all your insights.
Thank you, Kalpana. Thanks.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.